Alright, so today we've got another customer's four-wheeler. It's a 2020 MSA 400. Not exactly sure who makes this. I looked it up. Apparently they make something about boats. But he said when he got it, it ran, and now he thinks it needs a starter and just maybe like a tune-up or something. But we're gonna look into it. He said that he had to jump the solenoid here and it fell off while he was bringing it here, but he said the battery's basically new. But he said he jumped the solenoid and got it to start, so we'll look into it, figure out exactly what he needs, and try to get him back riding. I don't think he's ever rode it, actually. I think he bought it and I don't know what happened, but we're gonna start looking over it and seeing what we can find. So I'm not gonna have long to work on it today, but I do want to see what it'll do if you try to start it. It's not carbureted, it's fuel injected, it sounds like. It's almost got no gas in it. Not getting any start though. Clutch in maybe? Nope. It's in neutral. Alright, so we'll mess with it here tomorrow probably, because I got work here in a few. Got some free time now, so we're gonna look back at this. Last time we turned the key on and it didn't do anything. And that was kind of weird to me, because normally you hear the solenoid click, or the solenoid, and he said it may need a starter, but he said he was able to jump the solenoid and it started. So a second ago I was sitting here looking at it, and if you look right here on the battery, cable's really loose. I'm hoping maybe that's all it is. I could be extremely wrong, you know, but that's what I'm gonna try first. It may work, it may not. It's also really corroded here, so we could probably clean that up. But this is the first thing I'm gonna look at, because the solenoid's not clicking or anything. So I'm banking on it being this, not the starter, since he said he fired it up that one time. That'll work. Alright, both sides are secure. Let's see if it'll do anything now. Still nothing.
Check the solenoid first, see if that's even working.
Yeah, that's gonna be my next step.
Because my dad's was doing that, and the solenoid was, he replaced the solenoid.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it's gonna be. Turn the key on. Yeah, that's still recording. Turn the key on. Yeah, that's 2 clicks. And then hit the starter button. It's that little black button over here on the left side.
This?
Yep.
Hold it?
Yeah. So it's not the starter, it's gonna be the solenoid somehow. Please hit the starter. Okay, look again. Sounds like the batteries are kind of dead. Grab that jump box. Right now it's pointing to the solenoid for me, I think. So we're gonna hook up a jump pack because I just jumped the solenoid terminals, and it spun over the starter. So the starter's not like bad necessarily. If I can get this one on there. There we go. So we're gonna hook up the starter button still doesn't work here. See if I can jump the terminals again. Probably ain't got no gas. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain out what little gas is left in here. It's basically empty. We went and got new gas. I don't know how old this gas is. Obviously that's not gonna fix the solenoid issue, but maybe we can get it to halfway start, and we can go from there. It's not a very good color.
The gas?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's been sitting.
It's definitely got something in it. Look. Kind of looks like pee.
Pee?
See the mixture there? See the separation?
That is so gross.
I don't even know what it could be. So I'm hoping that may be all it is. We'll get as much out as we can with this. Alright, 2 gallons of gas is in. We'll prime it a couple times. Alright, starter buttons shouldn't work. Correct. And I'll jump the solenoid. She ain't got no power. Throw the jump box on it. So I pulled this plug out of the solenoid. There's a bunch of dirt and stuff in the plug, so I'm gonna clean that out. Maybe that's why the button isn't working. Not fully sure. I got a couple more things I can try before we fully rule this out, but I'm gonna clean that up, and then we're gonna check for spark if it still doesn't fire. New development. We may have wasted a ton of time. Check it out, right? Doesn't work. Pull the brake in. I've read that online. That didn't work before. I don't know why I cut off, but kill it because I don't know how much coolant and oil and whatnot's in there, but I don't get why that didn't work before. I did tap this button a good bit. Maybe I broke some dirt loose in here. I tried pulling this in earlier and hitting the button, nothing happened, and all I did was put the parking brake on and I hit it, and it started working.
You did fill it with new gas?
I mean, I get that, but the button wasn't working.
Oh.
But, I cleaned that connector. Wouldn't it be crazy if he didn't have to spend any money on it?
Something's wrong with it.
Babe,
I don't need you to...
See? Doesn't work there if you pull the brake on. I mean, I don't know. But I'm going to check the coolant. I know there's a reservoir down here, but I need to see what's in it. And then I'm going to check the oil level just cold to make sure I can see some. If I can, then we'll let it warm up and we'll check it from there. But it runs again. Now that we got it running, we're going to work on the front and back brakes. Neither have any pressure on them. I popped the, what's it called? The reservoir cap off the back, and it has fluid in it. So maybe just some air got in the line. So we're going to go ahead and bleed them. So we went to test the back brakes out, and so we put it in gear. Back brakes halfway work. We need to adjust them a little bit more, but now it won't come out of gear. So I'm going to look into this linkage, see why it's not working, because it was before, and it didn't make any noises or anything like that. So I don't think it's anything major. I think it's just, I'm hoping it's probably in here, just because it's not moving anything, but it's wiggling. Alright, it's shifting again. Reverse, high, and then over to low, back to neutral. All I did was pop this cover off here, pull the shifter out. Everything's greased up in there. Maybe it just fell out of place or something. I really don't know, but it's shifting now. So, we'll continue with the brakes. Still haven't done the front, because I was testing the back, and then we had an issue here, and this is more important than the brakes in my eyes. So we'll go back to the brakes, and I'll bring you back after that. So we moved back here to bleed the brakes, and it's pouring brake fluid out of the other side of the caliper for some reason, like towards the bottom. I'm gonna take this caliper off and try to investigate that. Hopefully it's nothing major. Okay, so I got the brake caliper off. Brake fluid's leaking around the piston here. I don't know if it's just the seal. I'm working on taking it off, but it's got a lip here. And I'm gonna show you the brake pads real quick. Straight metal. The rotor does have grooves, so he'll probably need rotors too, but here's the other brake pad. This was inside of the piston, and it broke while I tried to get it off. It's pretty much nothing. But I gotta file down this little lip so I can get this out. Like I can't pull it out at all. It's just stuck. So I'm gonna try to get that done and see what's going on back here. So since this side of the brakes were so bad, I'm gonna go ahead and pull all four wheels and just check all the brakes. Figure they're all gonna be pretty close to what these look like. So I'll bring you back probably at the end and show you what I found, if I have to pull them. If not, then I'll let you know. Pulled all the brakes, and I've got good news and bad news. So bad news is, right, we got all the brakes off, and they all need brakes. Like this one and this one have probably less than a sheet of paper left on them. But their opposites have already started eating away and have a groove cut in them. Now, the backs, the metal itself is like a sheet of paper. You know, there's pretty much nothing left on these. This is the back right one. It actually started to cut into the piston as well. The other bad news that we got here is the back rotors, since they were so wore out, have grooves in them, so they're gonna have to be replaced. The fronts do not have grooves in them, so these have just started to really go bad, and so the front rotors won't have to be replaced, but all the pads will. It's gonna be fun trying to find brakes for this because it's hard. I've already looked, but I'm gonna text the guy and see what I can find online. So I did some more digging, and you know, I showed you all 4 of the brake pads were toast. I looked online on the original manufacturer website. There's a bunch of parts you can't get from them. I called a few dealerships that have in the past serviced these or may know where I can get parts. One dealership said they stopped working with them because they couldn't get parts from the original manufacturer either. But I pulled the brake rotors just to see, because I couldn't find anything online for the back rotors here, and they've got some decent grooves in them, so they need to be replaced. But I wanted to see how the fronts matched up with it, and the fronts are a bit bigger, but the bolt holes are the same and the inner diameter is the same. And I found some rotors for a different four-wheeler that have pretty much this size. So I'm gonna throw this this front rotor on the back and see if these will fit on the back. If they do, I'm gonna give the guy a message or a call, see what he wants to do about the brake pads. The brake pads that I found are kind of like universal ones, but I measured bolt holes and everything like that. They should fit, but you cannot find parts for this thing anywhere. So I'm gonna throw this one on the back. Hopefully it fits. If so, we can probably replace these 2 rotors, because I found on the, you can't buy rotors from the original manufacturer, and they're like $80 a piece, which he said shop cheap, and that's not cheap. So hopefully these will fit. Alright, so got some parts to come in. The brake rotors that I said would fit for the fronts were like a 220 mil. They were not going to fit. These here are about a 200, and it was only like 15 or 17 millimeters off from fitting the front rotors. So I got these, bolt holes match up, and it's just slightly bigger than the rear now. Order the brakes with them. Got 2 of these rotors, of course. Order the brakes with them. These are the front brakes. This is what we're taking off, and everything lines up perfectly. These are correct. The back brakes, on the other hand, are not. So these center to center bolt holes here are roughly 75 mils. Okay, online it said these were 75. Get them here, measure them, they're only like 45. And I ordered 2 sets of these, and that's not what I got. I got this and this also. So I messaged the seller. Hopefully they're gonna fix this, because this is not actually what I ordered. I ordered 75 mil bolt spacing, not 45. And I don't even know what these are, but they came together. But so we're stuck on the back brakes for now. Can't do much with that at the moment, but we can go ahead and do the front brake pads. The rotors are good. I just got to put that one back on, and then we got to bleed them, and then the fronts should be good. So I'm gonna go and do that, and I'll bring you back once I hear something about the back brakes. Alright, so I got the other side on, and it went on fairly well. Nothing crazy or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do this side. I thought I wasn't gonna, not necessarily like a tutorial, but wasn't really gonna show this, but I decided I might as well, because I don't know how long this video is gonna be in the first place, and I don't want it to be too short, but also don't want it to be too long. So I'm not gonna take forever on this. But you know, take your wheel off, set it to the side, don't need it, and then it's a little rusted a little bit. So your caliper here will be on like this, I don't know how good you can really see that. There's 2 bolt holes right here. One here and one down there at the bottom, and this will be on there. You take those off and your caliper will slide off. Once your caliper is off, you can, there's a 5mm Allen, and this mainly is, I'm gonna say, gonna work for Massimo 4-wheeler brakes. I don't know all the other ones, you know, they all kind of differ, but there's a 5mm Allen back here. Take it out. This is what I did on the other side, and it worked better than what I was trying to do before. So we'll pull this 5mm Allen out. I think basically what that does is lets this push back in a little bit farther, which will give you the gap that you need here to get your brake pads in. So now we'll take them, go and hook one side. It could go in a little bit more, but should be right. What the heck was that? Just dirt? Okay. Come up with that. There we go. This one will fall into place. I may have to squeeze that piston back just a hair, but I may not. And we'll slide this one on, and then we'll pull this whole bracket back up a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't want to move, and that's just so we can get that little Allen cap back in there on the back side here. And once we put these on, the brake pads are going to be a touch loose, and that's just because there's no pressure on the piston. Once we get pressure on it, it's not going to be an issue. But Kinsey went to go find her a wedding dress because we're getting married next week, and we're you know, I can't really bleed the brakes by myself the way I do it, but whenever she gets back and gets settled back in, we'll probably come back out here and do them. But so we'll do that, and then gotta try to get this line back up. This side's being a little bit more of a pain, but you'll get your 2 bolts that you took out of there. These, and we'll try to line these back up blindly. Come on, where are you? They fit perfect on the other side, so I know they're gonna fit over here. We just gotta find the right place for it without having these fall off at the same time. Let's see if I can get the bottom one. That might be a bit easier. Blindly doing this is not helping. And I'll be honest with you, I've kind of impressed myself working on this 4-wheeler, mainly because it had what I'm going to call an electrical issue, because I didn't touch anything else but, you know, some wires and some connectors and whatnot, and she fired back up. And I'm not an electrical guy. I was never good at it. I've never been good at it. I had one project that I worked on that had some wiring issue that never made it to the channel, and I got it back running, but I lost a bunch of money on that because it was another 4-wheeler, and I'm really not a 4-wheeler guy either. It's another reason I've kind of surprised myself here. I mean, I know a lot of it's very similar to dirt bikes and whatnot, but it is different. But there we go, got that bottom one in now, and then we'll tighten these up. Come on, get up in there. Tighten this bottom one up. Not necessarily a tutorial, but if you have one of these 4-wheelers, hopefully it'll help you get your brakes changed. And that's really it. I mean, you gotta bleed the brakes now, because I know there's air in these lines. If you didn't have air in your lines, you'd be done. Just throw your wheel back on, and it should be good to go. Again, I can't bleed these yet. Still no reply from the seller on the wrong set of back brake pads. I'll let my guy know, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these bolts up the rest of the way, and guess wait on the seller, or wait on Kinsey. Waited on this forever. It's been over a week. Me and Kinsey got married today, since it's been so long. Because the last thing was me doing the front brakes, saying we were gonna get married in a week, and it's been over a week, so we're married now. Hopefully these fit. Let's find out. Let's see what I was sent. If they're the wrong thing again, you're gonna cry. Probably gonna have to text him again, because I think he only sent me one set. And it looks like they're a little bit bigger. There's those. They're the exact same. Those are the old ones. These are the new ones. And they all fit the exact same. Oh. New package. It's the next day. Hopefully these fit. The pictures looked very similar to the ones that were already on it. I got 2 of these in here. Let's just look and see. Yeah, that looks good so far. Let me check the other one, because, you know, the other seller sent me 2 sets of the wrong stuff. Okay, let me grab an old one. They may not be perfect, but I believe they're going to be close enough. Biggest thing is the bolt holes line up, and they're actually going to be the same size. So see here, new brake pad, old brake pad. These actually look very similar other than the tab. We may have to cut this off. If we do, whatever. But everything lines up perfect. Fits the exact same dimensions. Only thing is the tab, like I said, I'll try to put it on there with the tab. It's probably not going to fit, and I'll just cut it off. But we got 4 of those now. 2 on each side, obviously. But this seller actually sent me the right things the first time. That's what I like to see. But I got a refund for the other ones that didn't fit. I got to keep them, whatever. Still not very happy with that, because I'll probably never use them, but got them if I need to. So let's get working on these back brakes. Old disc, new disc, slightly bigger. Shouldn't be an issue. I did the measurements, and I think I test fitted it before just to be sure it worked. Not exactly sure why I would have took it back off, but either way. So ran into some complications with trying to get these pads on, the new ones. So these pistons in the back do not push in all the way. There's that little glare. Pistons in the back do not push in all the way, for whatever reason. These pads that don't fit were slightly thinner than the new pads, so we ground these down to match these, and these just barely fit. So, with that being said, the new pads should now fit, and we can continue with this and have this done today, which was the plan all along. But now it actually might come to, what's it called? Real life. Might actually happen. Alright, so I had to do a thing with the rotors. I was searching online because these didn't fit, which I guess my measurement was just off. But I searched online some more, couldn't find the right size rotors, or I was going to send those back and order those. But we got them shaved down, and they're still a little rough around the edges, and that's okay. So we're going to run a file over the rotors here, but they are the exact same size as this one now. So I'm going to file down these sharp edges and then rotors are filed down on the edges, got all the, whatever they're called, I'm gonna call them strings. I don't know what they're called off the top of my head, but if you ever wondered why I don't wear gloves, that's why. They instantly rip, and you know, good, thicker gloves are expensive, and I'm not spending money on them. But I'm gonna throw this on, and let's see what happens. All right, pads are almost in. Right there. Pads are in the caliper here. And we got this far last time. What we failed on is getting bolt holes on top and bottom to line up, but I can promise you already that it fits because of how much easier it was to line just even one of them up. And that one has started. I can't really get my fingers in there to turn it. There we go. But just like that, it all fits again. So that's freaking sweet. Now that means we can finish. I really have 13, Jesus. That means now we can finish up this four-wheeler and send it back to them. Brakes are bled, front and back, feeling extra nice and tight. So we're gonna let this bad boy warm up real quick, and then we'll maybe see if we can ride it. Rolled it outside, didn't back it up because I want a first impression on if it'll, because you know we had the stuff. We had the shifter issue. I didn't want to mess with it without, you know, seeing if it works on camera. So we'll start this bad boy back up. All right, let's go reverse. Well, I would say it works like it should, other than it cutting off that one time. I'm wondering if maybe there's still a little bit of nasty in the tank. We'll ride it around a little bit more in the yard tomorrow, see if it'll do it again, see if we can, you know, run a little bit of gas out. Because I didn't put a whole lot in here, probably a gallon and a half roughly. Because I drained some of the good stuff out. But that's gonna do it for tonight. We'll come back tomorrow morning. Next morning is here. It's warmed up, ready to go. Obviously, this isn't mine to buy or anything, so we're not really going to do much on it. Really just want to see if it'll keep cutting off or if it's good now. But there we go. Four-wheel drive light turned off, so now it's back in 2. I don't know what makes it take however long to do it, to switch out of 4-wheel drive, because I hit the button earlier to switch out, but nothing happened. Oh, there it goes, but it came back. See, it's like bogging down. Like I don't have enough gas in it. And I know there's not a lot of gas in it, but there's enough gas to ride it around, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's bad gas or something in it. It's kind of what it feels like to me, because it doesn't fully shut off or anything. And it's not really making any weird noises. Make me think it's something else. So I don't know. It's kind of at a loss on this one. Is it only uphill? So it doesn't like uphill. I wonder if it is gas. I wonder if I'm really low on gas, because it only did it when I came this way yesterday up the hill. Let me turn around. And that way I can kind of go up the hill again. Because that's the second time in that same spot that it's done it. Everywhere else, totally fine. And that may be all it is. It's just low on gas. Try to stop a little bit, because like they didn't do it there. Use the reverse for a minute to get up here. Let me take it around the other way. See if I take it over here and go up. Because again, that's, you know, uphill. Is it a sideways thing? Maybe it's still just bad gas. I don't know. That don't make sense to me. It's kind of weird. That's really odd. Really, really, really odd. See if it'll do it here again. Right there. It may just be that if I put more gas in it, the bad gas is still less likely to be there. I mean, I really don't know, because it's only in that spot, which is odd. Very odd. But now, let's go to, yeah, see, it's flashing. Flashing for empty. Now we're in low gear, which I think we're in low gear. Because I've watched some stuff about these, and I've never seen the indicator pop up here except for neutral and reverse. feels like we're in a low gear. So it'd be like anything really slow pulling. It's kind of what I'm going for. Probably gonna go get more gas, throw that in here, and then see what happens with that. Right. This should be finishing up the video here. I think I got it figured out. Let's get turned around, and I'll explain it to you. So it only happened whenever we would do a sharp turn the handlebars super tight like that. And it did not like that at all. So I was sitting there thinking, you know, what could that be? But anyway, I went and looked at diagrams, because on a carbureted thing, if you turn it too hard one way or the other, if your cable's not adjusted right, it'll mess up. It'll be pulling the throttle or not pulling it enough. But with this being fuel injected, I wasn't thinking that it kind of did that. But lo and behold, not thinking about it, throttle bodies, you know, they still actuate, and I think that's what it was. So I adjusted this cable a bit, and now it doesn't do it. Like, that's all it was, you know? It was either going limp or pulling too tight. I assume, let's see, I tightened it up, so I assume it was just probably going too limp. But now I'll go back down here one more time, and then we'll turn the handlebars real tight. See, there's the handlebars tight, didn't bog down at all. So I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna end this video here. This one was interesting to say the least, but in the end we got it done. Hopefully I'll send this back to him, and we'll get some more stuff to work on pretty soon. But if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.